It'll be fine. Holy it's not how you do that. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on the world's cheapest S13 240SX turbo drift build. But before we get up to the shop and work on the chassis, we have to get the drivetrain put back together. And that, you know, it's gonna be a little sketchy. If you didn't see the last video, this engine came out of a 1992 Nissan D21. It is a 2.4 liter KA24 single cam. The last time I drove it, it had rod knock. So instead of pulling it apart, polishing it, measuring all the journals, looking at the bearings like that, we're just gonna put new bearings in it and hope for the best because world's cheapest drift build. Hello, come on. We're gonna get this thing taken apart. I'm gonna slide the bearings in. I'm not gonna remove any rods. I'm not gonna remove the crank. I'm literally just gonna be sliding in bearings, torquing things down, and then, you know, crossing my toes and fingers. Let's get this thing pulled apart. We're gonna start putting some bearings in, and hopefully all goes well. I don't know, it should work. Well, you probably went and bought the nice bearings, right? No, I did not. I'm not even sure of what the brand is, but I will link the price right there. We will be adding up all the costs involved with this. Obviously, if you buy a motor that's running, you don't have to do this. Last video, I already took these off. They didn't look great, so that's not good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 1 and 4 first, rotate it, and then we'll do 2 and 3, and then we'll start on the mains, and then we'll get this thing sealed back together. Come on out. And you can actually, woo, those are a little smoked, aren't they? So there is a layer of copper in these bearings, which I think it's worn down to. So we're hoping everything is okay. The crank looks really nice, so I'm not too concerned about that. Alright, now we're going to start slipping bearings. Custom piece of plastic. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working beautifully. And we got it. Out with the old. Looks like the oil hole isn't even drilled in the right spot. Oh my lord. Don't be dropping bearings, dude. I know everybody's like, well, why didn't you just take the crank out? Well, I guess I could have. This is more exciting. Okay? Bearing. Lube. Alright, so we got all the bearings out. Hindsight, should have just taken the crank out. Would have been a lot easier, but whatever. I was seeing if I could actually slip bearings in. Not easy, should have just taken the crank out. But let me show you these. They don't look very good. So here's your thrust bearing. You can see it's pretty worn out, and these are actually, I mean, you can feel these grooves. I'm surprised the crank looks so good, because I mean, they all look like this. Like this is one of the mains. Like look at that gouge in there. That is just, I mean, that's gotta be a couple mil. Really, look at that. Now we're gonna take our freshly coated case, slide it in here. We'll get the AC pump off because we do not need it anymore. Oh no, not the AC pump, dude. Now we're gonna get this thing on the truck. We're gonna take it up to the shop and hopefully get some mounts built and get this thing sitting in that chassis. All right, let's do it. And just like that, we're back in the shop, got the motor on the stand. We're gonna flip this thing over, take the pan off, torque down the rod and main caps, and then we are going to get the pan sealed up. I gotta put the rear main housing on first. Then power steering pump needs to go back on, and then we're gonna put the flywheel on, the clutch back on, and if you go and look for a 240SX transmission and it's in good condition, it's $1,000. You know, anywhere you go. If you go on Craigslist, you can find a D21 that's non-running. Go over there, ask if you can pull the plug or run a magnet through the transmission from the fill port, and you can get trucks for $600. That comes with everything. New motor, transmission that's good, differential, ECU, wiring harness, plugs, wheels, tires, doors, glass, everything for the same price. They made a lot of D21s, so that kind of means all the parts will be cheap. If I can make this full swap D21 into this 240SX chassis, then repairing it's going to be cheap, finding parts will be easy. You won't have to fight everybody for KA parts that come out of a 240, and you know, that's just how it is. Holy it's not how you do that. We got our surfaces pretty clean. I still need to wipe them off with some brake clean. But this is probably the most daunting piece of putting a truck engine into the 240 is the oil pickup. Since we are changing the pickup point for the oil from the rear, like this with the sump in the back, this is a 240 oil pan that I got off Facebook, $100, not bad. So we have to make this, instead of being over here, we have to swap it to over here. So, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but can't be that difficult. You could just buy a pickup, but I couldn't find one. So, we're going to take this and modify it, cutting this, fitting it, and then tacking it together, and getting it to fit. I know. One of those things. Here's my solution. Cut the plate off. So we're just going to tack it for now. I have no idea what this material is. I'm hoping we can weld it. So we got it tacked together. Something like that. Alright. Definitely not my best welding. But it's on there. Almost forgot to torque the main caps and rod caps. Ha! That would have been legit. 38 foot-pounds on the main caps. So we're done with the bottom end. Now we're going to flip it over and get the oil pump in. Original oil pump, free. Hardware, free. I bought a lower end seal kit, which has all of these gaskets. So I'll replace those. That was, I don't know, this much. So we've got the keyway pointed up. We're at top dead center on number 1. Line up the marks. Good to go. Now we're going to put the power steering pump back on. Well, here's its new home. We're gonna get this thing on the cherry picker. I'm gonna set the motor in first. We're gonna get the measurements for the transmission. So we'll measure from the flywheel all the way to the back of the tail shaft and see where it lines up in the chassis. I know the truck transmissions are about 4 or 5 inches shorter just to fit in the truck. It's probably not gonna fit perfect, but we're going to slide it in there, see if we have a little bit of wiggle room back and forth, see if we can modify the engine mounts to set the engine farther back in the chassis. But I don't know. I mean, we're all learning as we go here. The mounts line up pretty good. The motor's gonna sit a little bit farther forward than I would like, but we'll just have to make a custom shifter to bring the shifting point back a little bit to the driver. Really won't be a big deal. We're gonna get this thing bolted in. I bought this a long time ago, and I don't know the price, but you can, yeah, it's that much. I know this flywheel doesn't look that great, but neither does the car. 110 foot-pounds. Like it matters. Oh. Get this transmission on. It'll be fine. I found a used throwout bearing. Free. Definitely sounds better than this one. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Trash. No. Trash. Oh god. If you saw the last video of me pulling this out of the truck, you would have noticed that there's only like 3 bolts holding the transmission in. Well, we know it fits. This motor came in this chassis. It's just, this one came out of a truck, this transmission's out of a truck, and it's very short. So, yeah, what are you gonna do? Watch out, coming through. Oh, chill out, dude. Almost forgot the starter. Okay, take 2. Get in there, that's your home. Got these washers, this little polyurethane. No. Alright, that one's on. So we got pretty lucky with the mount. I'm sure you could use a factory S13 mount. These ones I just had laying around, so you know, that works for me. You can see here the transmission is about 4 inches short from being in the hole here, so what we'll have to do is cover this hole here, build a block off plate, cut the chassis there, and then just extend the shifter. You could just get the longer 240 transmission, but it's just easier to use these D21 transmissions as they are much cheaper. So we're going to go this route. We'll just need an extra long drive shaft. We are going to get a custom transmission mount in here. So this is the transmission mount from the D21 pickup. What we're going to do is just chop it, modify it, and create some brackets to get it bolted into the chassis. All right, so I chopped up the original D21 mount, built this sweet ass mount, just welded it directly to it. I'm going to do the same thing over here. We'll just cut it, fit it, make something like this, a little gusset. This is my little bracket I just drilled holes into, and we'll cut this right here, add this in. Boom, bing, call it a day. And there, that's your home. Okay. Just like that. And here it is, my absolute abomination. Ew. Like a glove. Well, there you have it. KA24 out of a D21 into a Nissan 240SX. These motors did come in here, obviously, so that's not really a big deal, but it is going to be nice to be able to use all D21 parts, transmission, intake plenum, all the cheap stuff that nobody wants. I want it all. Drifting has become very expensive in regards to all the parts, all the aftermarket stuff. Everybody wants an LS, and all the LSs are, you know, $1,500 for a 200,000 mile block, and you know, no one wants that. I mean, we all want that, really, but we have these, so what are we gonna do? I know I said in the first video that we would be getting to the front bash bar setup, but I think I want to get most of it plumbed first. So what we're going to focus on in the next video is going to be finishing the interior, like against the firewall. So I need brake pedal, clutch slave cylinder. We're going to put the calipers on, we're going to get the brakes bled, and then we're going to look at the mechanical handbrake thing as well. So next video is going to be mainly interior brakes, and you know, if we can get up here and start plumbing gas, getting some of the electronics figured out. I did order the micro squirt ECU, just like Yoshi and just like the blue drift car. I'm actually going to be using all the same setup. I'll link the video of Yoshi's wiring here so you can see what I'm talking about with the micro squirt, and we'll go over it again when we do this. Drop a like, leave a comment, let me know what else we should do to this thing. I don't know. I'll catch you on the next one.